Hello everyone and welcome back to the show. Today we have an episode that is going to be immediately useful to you. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. The moment this episode ends, you can start using what we teach you.
Yes, and I'm really excited about this one because today we are not talking about grammar rules or tenses or word comparisons. Today we are giving you 25 real smart sentences that native English speakers use every single day in their conversations.
These are sentences that will make you sound natural, confident, and fluent. They are not complicated, they are not fancy, but they work in so many different situations, and that is what makes them smart.
And for each sentence, we are going to tell you what it means, when and where you use it, how it sounds in a real conversation, and what mistakes to avoid. So you're not just memorizing, you're understanding. Let's get into it. Sentence number 1. That makes sense.
This is one of the most useful sentences in daily English. You use it when you understand something someone has explained to you. It shows the other person that their explanation was clear and you follow what they said.
So instead of saying, I understand, or okay, you say, that makes sense. It sounds much more natural and engaged. For example, someone explains why a meeting was moved, and you say, oh, that makes sense. It's warm and natural.
Mistake to avoid. Some learners say, that makes a sense. There is no before sense in this phrase. Always say, that makes sense, with no article. Sentence number 2. I was just about to say that.
This is when you say exactly what you were thinking. It shows you were on the same page and thinking alike. It's a great conversation connector. For example, someone says, I think we should take a break. And you say, I was just about to say that. It creates a nice moment of connection between you and the other person.
Mistake to avoid. Do not say, I was just about to said that. The verb after to is always the base form. Say that, not said that. Sentence number 3. It depends.
This is a powerful sentence because sometimes questions do not have one simple answer. Instead of giving a wrong answer or going silent, you say, it depends. Then you can add what it depends on.
For example, someone asks, is it cold in Canada? And you say, it depends. In summer it is warm, but in winter it is very cold. It shows you are thinking carefully and giving a real answer.
Mistake to avoid. Some learners say, it's depending, which sounds unnatural. Just say, it depends. Simple and clean.
Sentence number 4. I'm not sure about that.
This is how you express uncertainty politely in English. Instead of saying, I don't know, which can sound abrupt, you say, I'm not sure about that. It sounds more thoughtful and honest.
For example, someone asks you a question you cannot answer with confidence and you say, I'm not sure about that. I'd have to check. It's honest and professional.
You can also say, I'm not entirely sure about that, to make it even softer. Entirely adds a little extra politeness.
Sentence number 5. Let me think about it.
This is how you buy yourself time before giving an answer. In many situations, rushing to answer is not wise. This sentence shows you're thoughtful and not impulsive.
For example, someone offers you a job or asks you to join a project. You say, let me think about it. It's respectful, honest, and completely normal in English conversation.
Mistake to avoid. Do not say, let me to think about it. There's no to after let me in this structure. Just, let me think about it.
Sentence number 6. What do you mean by that?
When someone says something and you're not sure what they mean, this is the polite and natural way to ask for clarification. It's much better than just saying, what? Or, huh? Which can sound rude.
For example, someone says, your approach is a bit unusual. You say, what do you mean by that? It invites them to explain without making things awkward.
It's also useful when someone uses a word or phrase you don't understand. You simply ask, what do you mean by that? And they'll explain.
Sentence number 7. I couldn't agree more.
This is how you strongly agree with someone in English. It doesn't mean you couldn't agree. It actually means I agree completely. The more at the end emphasizes how much you agree.
For example, someone says, learning a new language takes time and patience, and you say, I couldn't agree more. It's a strong and natural way to show full agreement.
Mistake to avoid. Some learners say, I couldn't agree much more, or I totally couldn't agree more. These additions make it sound strange. Just say, I couldn't agree more.
Sentence number 8. That's a good point.
You use this when someone says something that is correct, smart, or worth acknowledging. It shows you're listening and you respect what they said. It's very common in discussions, meetings, and conversations.
For example, someone says, we should test the idea before we invest too much money. You say, that's a good point. It's simple, genuine, and very natural.
You can also say, that's a really good point, to add a little more emphasis. Both work perfectly.
Sentence number 9. To be honest with you.
This phrase is used when you are about to say something very truthful, maybe something the other person might not expect, or that you feel is important to share genuinely.
For example, to be honest with you, I was not very happy with the result. It signals that what follows is your real and sincere opinion.
It also makes the listener pay closer attention because they know a genuine thought is coming. It builds trust in a conversation.
Mistake to avoid. Some learners say, to be honestly with you. Honest is the correct form here, not honestly. To be honest with you. Sentence number 10. Now that you mention it,
This is when you use something the other person said reminds you of something or makes you think of something you had forgotten or not considered before.
for example, someone says, have you noticed the coffee shop closed? And you say, now that you mention it, yes, I did notice the lights were off the other day. It shows active listening and natural response.
It's one of those phrases that makes conversation flow so naturally. It connects what you're about to say to what the other person just said.
Sentence number 11. Does that make sense?
This is what you say when you have explained something and you want to check if the other person understood you. It's polite, humble, and it invites the other person to ask if they need more explanation.
For example, after explaining a plan or directions, you say, does that make sense? It shows you care whether the other person understood, not just that you spoke.
Mistake to avoid. Some people worry this sounds like you're doubting yourself. It doesn't. It sounds caring and thoughtful. Native speakers use it all the time.
Sentence number 13. I was wondering if you could help me.
This is the polite way to ask someone for help. The structure, I was wondering, makes it soft and respectful. It doesn't demand, it invites.
For example, I was wondering if you could help me with this document. It sounds much more polite than, can you help me with this? And in professional situations, politeness matters a lot.
Mistake to avoid. Do not say, I was wondering if you can help. Use could, not can. Could is more polite and more appropriate in this kind of request.
Sentence number 14. That's exactly what I was thinking.
You use this when someone expresses an idea that matches perfectly with what you had in your own mind. It creates a strong moment of connection and agreement.
For example, someone says, I think we should take a different route to avoid traffic. And you say, that's exactly what I was thinking. It feels warm and natural in conversation.
You can also shorten it to exactly or that's exactly it in very casual conversation. Both work well.
Sentence number 15. It's not a big deal.
You use this to reassure someone that something is not a serious problem. When someone apologizes or worries about something small, this sentence calms the situation down.
For example, a friend is late by a few minutes and says, sorry. You say, it's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. It shows you're relaxed and understanding.
Mistake to avoid. Some learners say, it's not a big thing. That's understandable, but not the natural phrase. It's not a big deal is the correct everyday expression.
Sentence number 16. It's worth a try.
You use this when someone is hesitant about trying something and you want to encourage them. It means the attempt has value, even if it might not succeed.
For example, someone is not sure whether to apply for a competitive scholarship. You say, it's worth a try. You have nothing to lose. It's encouraging and positive.
It's also something you can say to yourself when you feel nervous about trying something new. It's worth a try. Go for it.
Sentence number 17. Just to clarify.
You use this when you want to make sure everyone in the conversation understands the same thing. It is very common in meetings, classrooms, and professional conversations.
For example, just to clarify, the deadline is this Friday, not next Friday, right? It prevents misunderstandings and shows you are paying close attention to details.
Mistake to avoid. Some learners say just to clear or just to make it clear. These are understandable but not as natural or polished as just to clarify. Use just to clarify.
Sentence number 18. That is news to me.
You use this when you hear information that is completely new to you and maybe a little surprising. It's a natural and friendly way to show you did not know something.
For example, someone says, the office is closed tomorrow for a holiday. You say, that is news to me. Nobody told me. It sounds casual and natural.
It is a very conversational phrase. You will hear it often in informal and semi-formal situations between colleagues and friends.
Sentence number 19. I see where you're coming from.
This is how you show someone that you understand their perspective or their point of view, even if you might not fully agree with it. It shows empathy and respect.
For example, someone explains why they made a decision you found unusual. You say, I see where you're coming from. That makes things clearer. It keeps the conversation respectful.
This phrase is particularly powerful in disagreements. It shows you are listening and understanding, which makes the other person feel heard, even if you then share a different view.
Sentence number 20. I appreciate that.
You use this when someone does something kind, helpful, or thoughtful for you, and you want to express genuine gratitude in a natural way.
For example, someone stays late to help you finish a task. You say, I really appreciate that. It's warmer and more meaningful than just saying thanks.
You can also say, I appreciate your help, or I appreciate you doing that for me. These variations work equally well and all sound very natural.
Sentence number 21. Fair enough.
This is how you accept someone's reasoning or decision, even if it's different from what you expected or wanted. It shows maturity and understanding.
For example, someone says they can't come to your event because they have a family commitment. You say, fair enough, I understand completely. It's gracious and natural.
Mistake to avoid. Some learners say, that's fair enough. Both are correct, but fair enough alone is more common and more natural in spoken English.
Sentence number 22. Could you say that again, please?
This is the polite way to ask someone to repeat what they said. You use it when you did not hear clearly or did not fully understand the first time.
Many learners feel embarrassed to ask this, but you should never feel bad about asking someone to repeat themselves. It's much better than pretending you understood and then making mistakes.
Native speakers ask this all the time. It's completely normal, and it shows you want to understand correctly. Always better to ask than to guess.
Mistake to avoid. Some learners say, repeat please, which sounds abrupt. Could you say that again please is much more polite and natural. Sentence number 23. Let's look at it this way.
You use this when you want to offer a new perspective or a different way of thinking about a situation. It's great for discussions, problem solving, and friendly debates.
For example, someone is frustrated about a problem. You say, let's look at it this way. Every problem we solve makes us stronger for the next one. It reframes the situation positively.
It's also a great leadership phrase. When you want to guide a group toward a better understanding, let's look at it this way opens that door naturally.
Sentence number 24. That's easier said than done.
You use this when someone suggests something that sounds simple but is actually quite difficult in practice. It's a gentle way to point out that reality is harder than the suggestion makes it sound.
For example, someone says, just stop worrying about it. And you say, that's easier said than done. Worrying is not something you can just switch off. It's not rude, it's honest and real. Native speakers use it often to keep conversations grounded in reality.
James, sentence number 25. I'm glad you brought that up.
You use this when someone raises a topic or point that you think is important or that you are also thinking about. It validates the person and opens up the conversation further.
For example, someone raises a concern in a meeting that others had been avoiding. You say, "I'm glad you brought that up. That's something we really need to talk about." It encourages honest conversation.
It's also a great phrase for teachers, managers, and anyone who leads conversations. It makes people feel safe to speak up.
Now that we've gone through all 25 sentences, let's talk about how to actually make these a part of your daily speech, because knowing them and using them are two very different things.
The first tip is, don't try to memorize all 25 at once. Choose 3 that feel the most natural to you and most useful for your daily life. Practice just those 3 this week.
Say them out loud. Make your own examples. Use them in a real conversation, even if it's just with yourself or with a family member at home.
The second tip is to notice these sentences when you hear them, in movies, in shows, in podcasts, in conversations around you. Every time you hear one of these sentences in real use, your brain gets stronger with it.
Recognition comes before production. First, you notice it, then you start saying it. That's how language naturally develops.
The third tip is to replace less natural phrases you currently use with these smarter sentences. For example, if you always say, "I understand," try replacing it with, "That makes sense." If you always say, "I don't know," try, "I'm not sure about that."
Small upgrades in your daily language add up to a big improvement in how natural and confident you sound over time.
And the fourth tip, don't be afraid to use these in imperfect ways at first. Maybe your pronunciation is not perfect yet. Maybe you use it in a slightly wrong situation. That's completely okay.
The only way to get better at using real conversational English is to actually use it. Every attempt teaches you something, even if it doesn't go perfectly.
Let me also say something important. These 25 sentences work across so many situations, at work, at school, with friends, with family, in shops, in meetings, online. They are not formal only or casual only. They are flexible and natural across many contexts.
And that's what makes them smart. They're not one-situation phrases. They're phrases that you can reach for in many different moments of your day.
Let's do a quick practice round. I'll describe a situation, and you tell me which of our 25 sentences fits best.
Ready? Your friend explains why they arrived late, and it makes total sense to you.
That makes sense, because you understood their explanation and it was logical.
Someone tells you a piece of news that completely surprises you and you had no knowledge of it before.
I had no idea, because you genuinely did not know this information at all.
Someone is hesitant to apply for a job they want because they think they might not get it.
It's worth a try, because even if they don't succeed, the attempt itself has value, and nothing is lost by trying.
A colleague raises a difficult question in a meeting that everyone was avoiding.
I'm glad you brought that up, because the topic needed to be discussed, and the person was brave to raise it.
Someone gives you a thoughtful explanation of why they made a decision differently from how you expected.
I see where you're coming from, because you understand their perspective and want them to feel heard. Perfect. 5 sentences used naturally in real situations. That's the kind of thinking that builds real conversational fluency.
Listeners, try making your own situations for the remaining sentences too. Think of a moment in your own life where each one would fit and make that personal connection.
Personal connection is the secret to remembering. When a sentence connects to a real memory or a real feeling in your life, it stays with you forever.
We want to close today by saying something to every person listening. Learning 25 new sentences in one episode is real progress. That's real learning happening in your brain right now.
And even if you only use 5 of these this week, that's 5 more natural English sentences than you were using before. Every step counts. Every sentence counts.
Language grows one sentence at a time, one conversation at a time, one brave attempt at a time. Keep going and trust the process.
We'll see you next time. Keep practicing and take care of yourselves.
See you in the next episode, everyone. You're doing great.